Chat, we back, baby. Live and direct, baby. What y'all got going, man? What they do? Great morning, great morning. Let's cut these lights off, y'all. Let's throw these away. Let's put this in the sink. What's up, boy? Let me see if I can do this without dropping my phone. You pee pee? All right. Good H2OZ. 2OZ. Hey man, if you in some teenage love right now and your heart broke, I promise it's gonna get better, chat. You know what I'm saying? Don't crash out. Living proof. You know what I mean? We all done been through teenage heartbreak, man. It might be some of the worst pain you can ever go through as a young person. You know what I'm saying? But I promise it's gonna be all right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Do not crash out. Do not try to kill yourself or do nothing crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be all right. I promise. You feel me? Cry about it. Feel the emotions that you feel. But don't crash out. You know what I mean? Don't do nothing unethical. Don't overreact, chat. For all my young people, man, in the community. How we just woke up, y'all started already. Why y'all always doing that? Bro, stop. Leave it alone, nigga. You already got to mess with somebody. You ain't mess with her, you mess with me. Why you go to the cage, bro? elevator music is attractive to the earpiece. We're finna read the rest of the numbers, chat. Have no fear, chat. God is here. That's what they should have said. Right? What superhero is that? What superhero cartoon is that? I can't even remember for real. I mean, not elevator music. Elevator music too though, but like when you on hold, like when you on a call and you on hold, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all folks got going. What y'all folks got going? Sia. Okay, why did I just say that? Why did I just say Sia? Probably because I was talking about what I was talking about last night. All right. My bad. That's these eggs I'm about to receive, Lord, and fix it just for my payment. Spiller, type Spiller. Spiller, chat, type Spiller. Oh, okay, that's enough. Low key be sprinkling too much pepper. Y'all hungry? Y'all shouldn't be. Y'all ate great last night. I mean, not saying y'all shouldn't be hungry all day, but y'all know what I'm talking about. What up, chat? We whipping them eggs up, chat. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna dive back into the numbers. Numbers! Numbers! What y'all got going, man? Hello. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, my pastor would be proud of me right now. My pastor would be proud of me, man. Let God isolate you, chat. It's probably the best thing that you can do right now in today's time. Isolate yourself. Get with God. Stay with God. Praise God. Thank God. Let God bless you for being obedient. You know what I mean? And choosing His word when it's not the cool thing to do right now. I ain't got no clean plates. Gee, that's crazy. No, 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 no. What's up, little Nicky? What's up, little Nicky? What's up, little Nicky? I need the bread. Let's fix that sandwich. Toast him up. Toast him up. Nigga done got used to eating around the clock, boy. Yeah, EBT get going, but you got to slow down. Dun, dun. Bro, how is it hair? And my eggs. PayPal. What PayPal want? What's up, chat? We whipping up the eggs, man. Whipping and flipping the bowl. Whipping and flipping the bowl. I mean, whipping and flipping the bowl. We 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 whipping and flipping the bowl. 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 All right, all right. Get tight, get tight. But I done bit a piece of my hair, chat. Jesus. They done bit my dread trying to eat my food, man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Should I do some jelly, man? Should I do some jelly toast? I think I should. Delightful, tasteful. Skarsky, 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 Skarskiana. Skarsky, Skarsky. Skarsky, Skarsky, Skarskiana. Alright. We're gonna wait till after I make the toast, man. That's all. What you doing? What you doing? Chat, what did it do? What did it do? Young nigga in the coop. You. I hope y'all having a good morning, man. Blessed morning, great morning. Alright. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, boo. Blessed morning, great morning. almost like it's just hair floating around, bro. Whatever. I gotta use it. Everybody just put more air in. Whatever, bro. I just need to wash dishes after I get done eating. Okay. 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 Hey. You know, it's like, spaghetti on frost. Yeah, you know, it's like, oven roasted turkey. Alright, let's do dishes, man. We got to do them dishes, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to do them dishes, right? You know what I mean? Who gonna do them dishes? Who gonna do them dishes? Suzanne. Nobody. Suzanne! That nigga be like, Suzanne! Chat, Suzanne! See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Suzanne! Move, bruh. Rex. Move. Rex. I'm not gonna tell you to move again, bro. Don't go to the other side and do it. That's not what we're doing. Don't you do it. Look at him, bro. Rex, what I just told you, bro. You ain't gotta go to the cage. You ain't gotta go to the cage. Just listen. Check on my butter toast. Check on the butter toast, check. Spaghetti on bro. Ski wee wee, chat. Ski wee wee. Spaghetti on frogs. Hey, you know how this life goes. Why am I saying that, bro? Now here you go. Get back. It's like one of them tried, and then the next one got to try after the first one just got in trouble for it. Y'all know how Frenchies get down. What's up, boo boo? You okay? That's me, bro. That's me making that noise. What up, chat? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Oh. Jesus, bro. I should have just set these down. They call that bit strawberry squeeze. They don't even call it strawberry jelly. They go strawberry squeeze. Strawberry squeeze. You got to squeeze the strawberry out that mug. What up, chat? Spaghetti on frost. Alright, I'm done singing that. Chia! Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. God is good, chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's put this up. Chat Apocalypse, Chat Anuga. Thought I had a burp. Chat Apocalypse, Chat Anuga. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Take the vitamins, chat. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. I just ate good. I just vitaminated real good. I got my God Glow. I got my God Glow. All right, let's finish doing these dishes. Could I probably have some music on while I'm doing this? Yeah, but. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, chat. Salmon got to be the best fish invented. Salmon got to be the best fish ever invented on the planetation of Earth. Starsky, Starsky. Chat, Starsky. Chat, if you in the chat right now, spam Starsky, Starskiano. Spam Starsky. Starskiano. Starskilita. melatonin. Skarska melanated. Skarskalini. Skarskalini, big bikini. What am I talking about, bro? Oh, it's still the heat still on there. Don't need the heat right now. We don't need that heat right now unless it's still cold outside, but it don't feel like it. I ain't been outside though. Yeah. Skirts laminated. Scalini doodle. Scalini doodle. I remember I used to have to do dishes growing up, chat. Why did I just peek in the camera and try to hide from y'all at the same time? Bro, I do weird stuff sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I do know that. But like, when I used to wash dishes, bro. I used to wash dishes, chat. I used to get in trouble for not setting the dishes in the dishwasher the right way. Imagine getting a whooping because you ain't put the dishes in the dishwasher the right way. Like, what's the right way? But like, I don't know. I guess it was about like, don't waste no space and don't. You feel me? When you could have put more dishes in the dishwasher. I don't know. In a way, I still think that's not a valid reason to get a whooping. You know what I mean? But I did used to get whoopings, bro, for not putting the dishes in the dishwasher the right way. And I'm thinking about that now, like, bro, what in the world? Scalini, Sienna. But yeah, man. Yeah, I for sure used to get whoopings, man. But not putting the dishes in the dishwasher. Scalini. What up, chat? Spam Scalini. Scalini. Iana. Scaliniano. Scaliniano, chat. Scaliniano. Uh-oh. I didn't leave that open. Yo, I think Cardi be listening to me, bro. Well, probably not no more, but I DM Cardi, Chad, and I said, bro, you need to bring Uzi out in Philly. And he was in Philly. I don't think he brought Uzi out, but he definitely was like, yo, Uzi, I love you, bro. I wish you was here. I don't know. I could be tripping. But if Cardi did hear me out on that, that's fire. All right. Let's read the word, chat. Let's read the word. Oh. What's up, Buddha? What you doing? What you doing, boo butt? What you doing, boo boo? Hey. Hey, Duda. What you doing? Okay, come on this way then. Oh, heavy boo boo, heavy boo boo. Heavy boo boo. Heavy boo boo. Y'all say what's up, boo boo. Okay, never mind. She don't want to be on camera. Sorry. Heavy boo boo. Hey, heavy boo boo. Nope, you cannot lay on my pillow. Hey, Delta boo boo. No, you cannot lick me because you ate your doodle last night. Boy, so pretty, so cute, boy, boy. Don't go to far, boy, boy. Okay. Let's listen to the word, Kiki. You're so pretty, beautiful, boy, boy. You're so pretty, beautiful, boy, boy. Why don't boy, boy? Hi, boy, boy. Hi, boy, boy. Hi, boy, boy. Hi, boy, boy. Hi, both boy. Hi, both boy. Hi, both boy. Hi, both boy. Alright, let's do it, chat. Lock back in.
As the Israelites give me part of their grain and wine, you must set aside part of what you receive as an offering to me. That amount must then be given to Aaron, so the best of what you receive will be mine. After you have dedicated the best parts to me, you can eat the rest, just as the Israelites eat part of their grain and wine after offering them to me. Your share may be eaten anywhere by anyone in your family, because it is your pay for working at the sacred tent. You won't be punished for eating it, as long as you have already offered the best parts to me. The gifts and sacrifices brought by the people must remain sacred, and if you eat any part of them before they are offered to me, you will be put to death.
Numbers 19.
Numbers.
The Lord gave Moses and Aaron the following law.
The people of Israel must bring Moses a reddish-brown cow that has nothing wrong with it and that has never been used for plowing. Moses will give it to Eleazar the priest. Then it will be led outside the camp and killed while Eleazar watches.
He will dip his finger into the blood and sprinkle it 7 times in the direction of the sacred tent. Then the whole cow, including its skin, meat, blood, and insides, must be burned. A priest is to throw a stick of cedar wood, a hyssop branch, and a piece of red yarn into the fire. After the ceremony, the priest is to take a bath and wash his clothes. Only then can he go back into the camp, but he remains unclean and unfit for worship until evening. The man who burned the cow must also wash his clothes and take a bath, but he is also unclean until evening. A man who isn't unclean must collect the ashes of the burnt cow and store them outside the camp in a clean place. The people of Israel can mix these ashes with the water used in the ceremony to wash away sin. The man who collects the ashes must wash his clothes, but will remain unclean until evening. This law must always be obeyed by the people of Israel and the foreigners living among them. If you touch a dead body, you will be unclean for 7 days. But if you wash with the water mixed with the cow's ashes on the 3rd day and again on the 7th day, you will be clean and acceptable for worship. You must wash yourself on those days. If you don't, you will remain unclean. Suppose you touch a dead body, but refuse to be made clean by washing with the water mixed with ashes. You will be guilty of making my sacred tent unclean, and will no longer belong to the people of Israel. If someone dies in a tent while you are there, you will be unclean for 7 days. And anyone who later enters the tent will also be unclean. Any open jar in the tent is unclean. If you touch the body of someone who was killed, or who died of old age, or if you touch a human bone or a grave, you will be unclean for 7 days. Before you can be made clean, someone who is clean must take some of the ashes from the burnt cow and stir them into a pot of spring water. That same person must dip a hyssop branch in the water and ashes, then sprinkle it on the tent and everything in it, including everyone who was inside. If you have touched a human bone, a grave, or a dead body, you must be sprinkled with that water. If this is done on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, you will be clean. Then, after you take a bath and wash your clothes, you can worship that evening. If you are unclean and refuse to be made clean by washing with the water mixed with ashes, you will be guilty of making my sacred tent unclean, and you will no longer belong to the people of Israel. These laws will never change. The man who sprinkled the water and the ashes on you when you were unclean must also wash his clothes. And whoever touches this water is unclean until evening. When you are unclean, everything you touch becomes unclean, and anyone who touches you will be unclean until evening.
Numbers 20.
Numbers.
The people of Israel arrived at the Zin Desert during the 1st month and set up camp near the town of Kadesh. It was there that Miriam died and was buried. The Israelites had no water, so they went to Moses and Aaron and complained.
Moses, we'd be better off if we had died along with the others in front of the Lord's sacred tent. You brought us into this desert, and now we and our livestock are going to die. Egypt was better than this horrible place. At least there we had grain and figs and grapevines and pomegranates. But now we don't even have any water.
Moses and Aaron went to the entrance to the sacred tent, where they bowed down. The Lord appeared to them in all his glory and said,
Moses, get your walking stick. Then you and Aaron call the people together and command that rock to give you water. That's how you will provide water for the people of Israel and their livestock.
Moses obeyed and took his stick from the sacred tent. After he and Aaron had gathered the people around the rock, he said,
Look, you rebellious people, and you will see water flow from this rock.
He raised his stick in the air and struck the rock 2 times. At once, water gushed from the rock, and the people and their livestock had water to drink. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron,
Because you refused to believe in my power, these people did not respect me. And so, you will not be the ones to lead them into the land I have promised.
The Israelites had complained against the Lord, and he had shown them his holy power by giving them water to drink. So they named the place Meribah, which means complaining. Moses sent messengers from Israel's camp near Kadesh with this message for the king of Edom.
We are Israelites, your own relatives, and we are sure you have heard the terrible things that have happened to us. Our ancestors settled in Egypt and lived there a long time, but later the Egyptians were cruel to us. And when we begged our Lord for help, He answered our prayer and brought us out of that land. Now we are camped at the border of your territory, near the town of Kadesh. Please let us go through your country. We won't go near your fields and vineyards, and we won't drink any water from your wells. We will stay on the main road until we leave your territory.
But the Edomite king answered,
No, I won't let you go through our country. And if you try, we will attack you.
Moses sent back this message.
We promise to stay on the main road, and if any of us or our livestock drink your water, we will pay for it. We just want to pass through.
But the Edomite king insisted.
You can't go through our land.
Then Edom sent out its strongest
That's
troops to
crazy,
keep
yeah.
Israel from passing through its territory. So the Israelites had to go in another direction. After the Israelites had left Kadesh and had gone as far as Mount Hor on the Edomite border, the Lord said,
Aaron, this is where you will die. You and Moses disobeyed me at Meribah, and so you will not enter the land I promised the Israelites. Moses, go with Aaron and his son Eleazar to the top of the mountain. Then take Aaron's priestly robe from him and place it on Eleazar. Aaron will die there.
Moses obeyed, and everyone watched as he and Aaron and Eleazar walked to the top of Mount Hor. Moses then took the priestly robe from Aaron and placed it on Eleazar. Aaron died there. When Moses and Eleazar came down, the people knew that Aaron had died, and they mourned his death for 30 days. Numbers 21. The Canaanite king of Arad lived in the southern desert of Canaan, and when he heard that the Israelites were on their way to the village of Atharim, he attacked and took some of them hostage. The Israelites prayed,
Our Lord, if you will help us defeat these Canaanites, we'll completely destroy their towns and everything in them to show that they belong to you.
The Lord answered their prayer and helped them wipe out the Canaanite army and completely destroy their towns. That's why one of the towns is named Hormah, which means destroyed place. The Israelites had to go around the territory of Edom, so when they left Mount Hor, they headed south toward the Red Sea. But along the way, the people became so impatient that they complained against God and said to Moses,
Did you bring us out of Egypt just to let us die in the desert? There's no water out here, and we can't stand this awful food.
Then the Lord sent poisonous snakes that bit and killed many of them. Some of the people went to Moses and admitted,
It was wrong of us to insult you and the Lord. Now please ask him to make these snakes go away.
Moses prayed, and the Lord
I'm
answered.
gonna have to get in the flow then,
Make a
y'all.
snake out
I'm
of
making my back
bronze and
hurt
place
doing
it
all
on
that.
top of a pole. Anyone who gets bitten can look at the snake and won't die.
Moses obeyed the Lord, and all of those who looked at the bronze snake lived, even though they had been bitten by the poisonous snakes. As the Israelites continued their journey to Canaan, they camped at Oboth, then at Aya Abarim in the desert east of Moab, and then in the Zered Gorge. After that, they crossed the Arnon River Gorge and camped in the Moabite desert bordering Amorite territory. The Arnon was the border between the Moabites and the Amorites. A song in the book of the Lord's battles mentions the town of Waheb with its creeks in the territory of Suphah. It also mentions the Arnon River with its valleys that lie alongside the Moabite border and extend to the town of Ar. From the Arnon, the Israelites went to the well near the town of Beer, where the Lord had said to Moses,
Call the people together, and I will give them water to drink.
That's also the same well the Israelites sang about in this song.
Let's celebrate! The well has given us water. With their royal scepters, our leaders pointed out where to dig the well.
The Israelites left the desert and camped near the town of Mattanah, then at Nahaliel, and then at Bamoth. Finally, they reached the Moabite territory, where they camped near Mount Pisgah in a valley overlooking the desert north of the Dead Sea. The Israelites sent this message to King Sihon of the Amorites.
Please let us pass through your territory. We promise to stay away from your fields and vineyards, and we won't drink any water from your wells. As long as we're in your land, we won't get off the main road.
But Sihon refused to let Israel travel through his land. Instead, he called together his entire army and marched into the desert to attack Israel near the town of Jahaz. Israel defeated them and took over the Amorite territory from the Arnon River Gorge in the south to the Jabbok River Gorge in the north. Beyond the Jabbok was the territory of the Ammonites, who were much stronger than Israel. The Israelites settled in the Amorite towns, including the capital city of Heshbon, with its surrounding villages. King Sihon had ruled from Heshbon after defeating the Moabites and taking over their land north of the Arnon River Gorge. That's why the Amorites had written this poem about Heshbon.
Come and rebuild Heshbon, King Sihon's capital city. His armies marched out like fiery flames, burning down the town of Ar and destroying the hills along the Arnon River. You Moabites are done for. Your god Chemosh deserted your people. They were captured, taken away by King Sihon the Amorite. We completely defeated Moab. The towns of Heshbon and Dibon, of Nophah and Medeba are ruined and gone.
After the Israelites had settled in the Amorite territory, Moses sent some men to explore the town of Jazer. Later, the Israelites captured the villages surrounding it and forced out the Amorites who lived there. The Israelites headed toward the region of Bashan, where King Og ruled, and he led his entire army to Edrei to meet Israel in battle. The Lord said to Moses,
Don't be afraid of Og. I will help you defeat him and his army, just as you did King Sihon, who ruled Heshbon. Og's territory will be yours.
So the Israelites wiped out Og, his family, and his entire army. There were no survivors. Then Israel took over the land of Bashan. Numbers 22. Israel moved from there to the hills of Moab, where they camped across the Jordan River from the town of Jericho. When King Balak of Moab and his people heard how many Israelites there were and what they had done to the Amorites, he and the Moabites were terrified and panicked. They said to the Midianite leaders,
That bunch of Israelites will wipe out everything in sight, like a bull eating grass in a field.
So King Balak sent a message to Balaam, son of Beor, who lived among his relatives in the town of Pethor, near the Euphrates River. It said,
I need your help. A huge group of people has come here from Egypt and settled near my territory. They are too powerful for us to defeat. So would you come and place a curse on them? Maybe then we can run them off. I know that anyone you bless will be successful, but anyone you curse will fail.
The leaders of Moab and Midian left, and took along money to pay Balaam for his work. When they got to his house, they gave him Balak's message.
Spend the night here,
Balaam replied,
and tomorrow I will tell you the Lord's answer.
So the officials stayed at his house. During the night, God asked Balaam,
Who are these people at your house?
They are messengers from King Balak of Moab.
Balaam answered,
He sent them to ask me to go to Moab and place a curse on the people who have come there from Egypt. They have settled everywhere around him, and he wants to run them off.
But God replied,
Don't go with Balak's messengers. I have blessed those people who have come from Egypt, so don't curse them.
The next morning, Balaam said to Balak's officials,
Go on back home. The Lord says I cannot go with you.
The officials left and told Balak that Balaam refused to come. Then Balak sent a larger group of officials who were even more important than the first ones. They went to Balaam and told him that Balak had said,
Balaam, if you come to Moab, I'll pay you very well and do whatever you ask. Just come and place a curse on these people.
Balaam answered,
Even if Balak offered me a palace full of silver or gold, I wouldn't do anything to disobey the Lord my God. You are welcome to spend the night here, just as the others did. I will find out if the Lord has something else to say about this.
That night, God said,
Balaam, I'll let you go to Moab with Balak's messengers, but do only what I say.
So Balaam got up the next morning and saddled his donkey, then left with the Moabite officials. Balaam was riding his donkey to Moab, and 2 of his servants were with him. But God was angry that Balaam had gone, so one of the Lord's angels stood in the road to stop him. When Balaam's donkey saw the angel standing there with a sword, it walked off the road and into an open field. Balaam had to beat the donkey to get it back on the road. Then the angel stood between 2 vineyards in a narrow path with a stone wall on each side. When the donkey saw the angel, it walked so close to one of the walls that Balaam's foot scraped against the wall. Balaam beat the donkey again. The angel moved once more and stood in a spot so narrow that there was no room for the donkey to go around. So it just lay down. Balaam lost his temper, then picked up a stick and smacked the donkey. When that happened, the Lord told the donkey to speak, and it asked Balaam,
"What have I done to you that made you beat me 3 times?
You made me look stupid.
Balaam answered,
If I had a sword, I'd kill you here and now.
But you're my owner,
replied the donkey.
and you've ridden me many times. Have I ever done anything like this before?"
No,
Balaam admitted. Just then, the Lord let Balaam see the angel standing in the road, holding a sword, and Balaam bowed down. The angel said,
You had no right to treat your donkey like that. I was the one who blocked your way, because I don't think you should go to Moab. If your donkey had not seen me and stopped those 3 times, I would have killed you and let the donkey live.
Balaam replied,
I was wrong. I didn't know you were trying to stop me. If you don't think I should go, I'll return home right now.
It's all right for you to go,
the Lord's angel answered.
But you must say only what I tell you.
So Balaam went on with Balak's officials. When Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went to meet him at the town of which is on the northern border of Moab. Balak asked,
Why didn't you come when I invited you the first time? Did you think I wasn't going to pay you?
I'm here now,
Balaam answered.
But I will say only what God tells me to say.
They left and went to the town of Kiriath-Huzoth, where Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep and gave some of the meat to Balaam and the officials who were with him. The next morning, Balak took Balaam to the town of Bamoth Baal. From there, Balaam could see some of the Israelites. Numbers 23.
Numbers.
Balaam said to Balak,
Build 7 altars here. Then bring 7 bulls and 7 rams.
After Balak had done this, they sacrificed a bull and a ram on each altar. Then Balaam said,
Wait here beside your offerings, and I'll go somewhere to be alone. Maybe the Lord will appear to me. If he does, I will tell you everything he says.
And he left. When God appeared to him, Balaam said,
I have built 7 altars and have sacrificed a bull and a ram on each one.
The Lord gave Balaam a message, then sent him back to tell Balak. When Balaam returned, he found Balak and his officials standing beside the offerings. Balaam said,
King Balak of Moab brought me from the hills of Syria to curse Israel and announce its doom. But I can't go against God. He did not curse or condemn Israel. From the mountain peaks I look down and see Israel, the obedient people of God. They are living alone in peace, And though they are many, they don't bother the other nations. I hope to obey God for as long as I live and to die in such peace.
Balak said,
What are you doing? I asked you to come and place a curse on my enemies, but you have blessed them instead.
Balaam answered,
I can say only what the Lord tells me.
Balak said to Balaam,
Let's go somewhere else. Maybe if you see a smaller part of the Israelites, you will be able to curse them for me.
So he took Balaam to a field on top of Mount Pisgah, where lookouts were stationed. Then he built 7 altars there, and sacrificed a bull and a ram on each one.
Wait here beside your offerings,
Balaam said.
The Lord will appear to me over there.
The Lord appeared to Balaam and gave him another message. Then he told him to go and tell Balak. Balaam went back and saw him and his officials standing beside the offerings. Balak asked,
What did the Lord say?
Balaam answered,
Pay close attention to my words. God is no mere human. He doesn't tell lies or change his mind. God always keeps his promises. My command from God was to bless these people, and there's nothing I can do to change what he has done. Israel's king is the Lord God. He lives there with them and intends them no harm. With the strength of a wild ox, God led Israel out of Egypt. No magic charms can work against them. Just look what God has done for his people. They are like angry lions ready to attack, and they won't rest until their victim is gobbled down.
Balak shouted,
If you're not going to curse Israel, then at least don't bless them.
I've already told you.
Balaam answered,
I will say only what the Lord tells me.
Balak said to Balaam,
Come on, let's try another place. Maybe God will let you curse Israel from there.
So he took Balaam to Mount Peor, overlooking the desert north of the Dead Sea. Balaam said,
Build 7 altars here, then bring me 7 bulls and 7 rams.
After Balak had done what Balaam asked, he sacrificed a bull and a ram on each altar. Numbers 24. Balaam was sure that the Lord would tell him to bless Israel again. So he did not use any magic to find out what the Lord wanted him to do, as he had the first 2 times. Instead, he looked out toward the desert and saw the tribes of Israel camped below. Just then, God's Spirit took control of him, and Balaam said,
I am the son of Beor, and my words are true, so listen to my message. It comes from the Lord, the God all-powerful. I bowed down to him and saw a vision of Israel. People of Israel, your camp is lovely. It's like a grove of palm trees or a garden beside a river. You are like tall aloe trees that the Lord has planted, or like cedars growing near water. You and your descendants will prosper like an orchard beside a stream. Your king will rule with power and be a greater king than Agag the Amalekite. With the strength of a wild ox, God led you out of Egypt. You will defeat your enemies, shooting them with arrows and crushing their bones. Like a lion, you lie down resting after an attack. Who would dare disturb you? Anyone who blesses you will be blessed. Anyone who curses you will be cursed.
When Balak heard this, he was so furious that he pounded his fist against his hand and said,
I called you here to place a curse on my enemies, and you've blessed them 3 times. Leave now and go home. I told you I would pay you well, but since the Lord didn't let you do what I asked, you won't be paid.
Balaam answered,
I told your messengers that even if you offered me a palace full of silver or gold, I would still obey the Lord. And I explained that I would say only what he told me. So I'm going back home. But I'm leaving you with a warning about what the Israelites will someday do to your nation.
Balaam said,
I am the son of Beor, and my words are true, so listen to my message. My knowledge comes from God Most High, the Lord All-Powerful. I bowed down to him and saw a vision of Israel. What I saw in my vision hasn't happened yet, but someday a king of Israel will appear like a star. He will wipe out you Moabites and destroy those tribes who live in the desert. Israel will conquer Edom and capture the land of that enemy nation. The king of Israel will rule and destroy the survivors of every town there. And I saw this vision about the Amalekites. Their nation is now great, but it will someday disappear forever. And this is what I saw about the Kenites. They think they're safe living among the rocks, but they will be wiped out when Assyria conquers them. No one can survive if God plans destruction. Ships will come from Cyprus, bringing people who will invade the lands of Assyria and Eber. But finally, Cyprus itself will be ruined.
After Balaam finished, he started home, and Balak also left. Numbers 25. While the Israelites were camped at Acacia, some of the men had sex with Moabite women. These women then invited the men to ceremonies where sacrifices were offered to their gods. The men ate the meat from the sacrifices and worshipped the Moabite gods. The Lord was angry with Israel because they had worshipped the god Baal Peor. So he said to Moses,
Take the Israelite leaders who are responsible for this and have them killed in front of my sacred tent where everyone can see. Maybe then I will stop being angry with the Israelites.
Moses told Israel's officials,
Each of you must put to death any of your men who worship Baal.
Later, Moses and the people were at the sacred tent crying when one of the Israelite men brought a Midianite woman to meet his family. Phinehas, the grandson of Aaron the priest, saw the couple and left the crowd. He found a spear and followed the man into his tent, where he ran the spear through the man and into the woman's stomach. The Lord immediately stopped punishing Israel with a deadly disease, but 24,000 Israelites had already died. The Lord said to Moses,
In my anger, I would have wiped out the Israelites if Phinehas had not been faithful to me. But instead of punishing them, I forgave them. So, because of the loyalty that Phinehas showed, I solemnly promise that he and his descendants will always be my priests.
The Israelite man that was killed was Zimri, son of Salu, who was one of the leaders of the Simeon tribe. And the Midianite woman killed with him was Cosbi, the daughter of a Midianite clan leader named Zur. The Lord told Moses,
The Midianites are now enemies of Israel, so attack and defeat them. They tricked the people of Israel into worshipping their god at Peor, and they are responsible for the death of Cosbi, the daughter of one of their own leaders.
Numbers 26. After the Lord had stopped the deadly disease from killing the Israelites, he said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron,
I want you to find out how many Israelites are in each family, and list every man 20 years and older who is able to serve in Israel's army.
Israel was now camped in the hills of Moab across the Jordan River from the town of Jericho. Moses and Eleazar told them what the Lord had said about counting the men 20 years and older, just as Moses and their ancestors had done when they left Egypt. There were 43,730 men from the tribe of Reuben, the oldest son of Jacob. These men were from the clans of Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. Paldu was the father of Eliab, and the grandfather of Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. These are the same Dathan and Abiram who had been chosen by the people, but who followed Korah and rebelled against Moses, Aaron, and the Lord. That's when the Lord made the earth open up and swallow Dathan, Abiram, and Korah. At the same time, fire destroyed 250 men as a warning to the other Israelites. But the Korahite clan wasn't destroyed. There were 22,200 men from the tribe of Simeon. They were from the clans of Nemuel, Jamin, Jachin, Zerah, and Shaul. There were 40,500 men from the tribe of Gad. They were from the clans of Zephon, Haggi, Shunai, Ozni, Eri, Arad, and Areli. There were 76,500 men from the tribe of Judah. They were from the clans of Shelah, Perez, Zerah, Hezron, and Hamel. Judah's sons and Onan had died in Canaan. There were 64,300 men from the tribe of Issachar. They were from the clans of Tola, Puvah, Jashub, and Shimron. There were 60,500 men from the tribe of Zebulun. They were from the clans of Sirad, Elon, and Jaleel. There were 52,700 men from the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph. They were from the clan of Machir, the clan of Gilead his son, and the clans of his 6 grandsons, Iezer, Helek, Azriel, Shechem, Shemida, and Hepher. Zelophehad, son of Hepher, had no sons, but he had 5 daughters, Mala, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. There were 32,500 men from the tribe of Ephraim, son of Joseph. They were from the clans of Shuthelah, Becher, Tahan, and Iram, the son of Shuthelah. There were 45,600 men from the tribe of Benjamin. They were from the clans of Bela, Ashbel, Ahiram, Shephupham, Hupham, as well as from Ard and Naaman, the 2 sons of Bela. There were 64,400 men from the tribe of Dan. They were all from the clan of Shuham. There were 53,400 men from the tribe of Asher. They were from the clans of Imnah, Ishvi, and Beriah, and from the 2 clans of Heber and Malkiel, the sons of Beriah. Asher's daughter was Sirah. There were 45,400 men from the tribe of Naphtali. They were from the clans of Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem. The total number of Israelite men listed was 601,730. The Lord said to Moses,
Divide the land of Canaan among these tribes according to the number of people in each one. So the larger tribes have more land than the smaller ones. I will show you what land to give each tribe, and they will receive as much land as they need according to the number of people in it.
The tribe of Levi included the clans of the Gershonites, Kohathites, Merarites, as well as the clans of Libni, Hebron, Malai, Mushai, and Korah. Kohath the Levite was the father of Amram, the husband of Levi's daughter Jochebed, who was born in Egypt. Amram and Jochebed's 3 children were Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. Aaron was the father of Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu had died when they offered fire that was unacceptable to the Lord. In the tribe of Levi, there were 23,000 men and boys at least a month old. They were not listed with the other tribes because they would not receive any land in Canaan. Moses and Eleazar counted the Israelites while they were camped in the hills of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho. None of the people that Moses and Aaron had counted in the Sinai desert were still alive, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. The Lord had said that everyone else would die there in the desert. Numbers 27. Zelophehad was from the Manasseh tribe, and he had 5 daughters, whose names were Mala, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. One day his daughters went to the sacred tent, where they met with Moses, Eleazar, and some other leaders of Israel, as well as a large crowd of Israelites. The young women said,
You know that our father died in the desert, but it was for something he did wrong, not for joining with Korah and rebelling against the Lord. Our father left no sons to carry on his family name, but why should his name die out for that reason? Give us some land like the rest of his relatives in our clan, so our father's name can live on.
Moses asked the Lord what should be done, and the Lord answered,
Zelophehad's daughters are right. They should each be given part of the land their father would have received. Tell the Israelites that when a man dies without a son, his daughter will inherit his land. If he has no daughter, his brothers will inherit the land. But if he has no brothers, his father's brothers will inherit the land. And if his father has no brothers, the land must be given to his nearest relative in the clan. This is my law, and the Israelites must obey it.
The Lord said to Moses,
One day you will go up into the Abarim mountains, and from there you will see the land I am giving the Israelites. After you have seen it, you will die, just like your brother Aaron, because both of you disobeyed me at Meribah near the town of Kadesh in the Zin desert. When the Israelites insulted me there, you didn't believe in my holy power.
Moses replied,
You are the Lord God, and you know what is in everyone's heart. So I ask you to appoint a leader for Israel. Your people need someone to lead them into battle, or else they will be like sheep, wandering around without a shepherd.
The Lord answered,
Joshua, son of Nun, can do the job. Place your hands on him to show that he is the one to take your place. Then go with him and have him stand in front of Eleazar the priest and the Israelites. Appoint Joshua as their new leader and tell them they must now obey him just as they obey you. But Joshua must depend on Eleazar to find out from me what I want him to do as he leads Israel into battle.
Moses followed the Lord's instructions and took Joshua to Eleazar and the people. Then he placed his hands on Joshua and appointed him Israel's leader. Numbers 28. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel,
Offer sacrifices to me at the appointed times of worship, so that I will smell the smoke and be pleased. Each day offer 2 rams a year old as sacrifices to please me. The animals must have nothing wrong with them. One will be sacrificed in the morning and the other in the evening. Along with each of them, 2 pounds of your finest flour mixed with a quart of olive oil must be offered as a grain sacrifice. This sacrifice to please me was first offered on Mount Sinai. Finally, along with each of these 2 sacrifices, a quart of wine must be poured on the altar as a drink offering. The second ram will be sacrificed that evening, along with the other offerings, just like the one sacrificed that morning. The smell of the smoke from these sacrifices will please me. On the Sabbath, in addition to the regular daily sacrifices, you must sacrifice 2 rams a year old to please me. These rams must have nothing wrong with them, and they will be sacrificed with a drink offering and 4 pounds of your finest flour mixed with olive oil. On the first day of each month, bring to the altar 2 bulls, 1 full-grown ram, and 7 rams a year old that have nothing wrong with them. Then offer these as sacrifices to please me. 6 pounds of your finest flour mixed with olive oil must be offered with each bull as a grain sacrifice. 4 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with the ram, and 2 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with each of the young rams. The smell of the smoke from these sacrifices will please me. Offer 2 quarts of wine as a drink offering with each bull, 1.5 quarts with the ram, and 1 quart with each of the young rams. Finally, you must offer a goat as a sacrifice for sin. These sacrifices are to be offered on the first day of each month, in addition to the regular daily sacrifices. Celebrate Passover in honor of me on the 14th day of the first month of each year. The following day will begin the festival of thin bread, which will last for a week. During this time, you must honor me by eating bread made without yeast. On the first day of this festival, you must rest from your work and come together for worship. Bring to the altar 2 bulls, 1 full-grown ram, and 7 rams a year old that have nothing wrong with them, and then offer these as sacrifices to please me. 6 pounds of your finest flour mixed with olive oil must be offered with each bull as a grain sacrifice. 4 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with the ram, and 2 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with each of the young rams. Also offer a goat as a sacrifice for the sins of the people. All of these are to be offered in addition to the regular daily sacrifices, and the smoke from them will please me. Then on the last day of the festival, you must once again rest from work and come together for worship. On the first day of the harvest festival, you must rest from your work, come together for worship, and bring a sacrifice of new grain. Offer 2 young bulls, 1 full-grown ram, and 7 rams a year old as sacrifices to please me. 6 pounds of your finest flour mixed with olive oil must be offered with each bull as a grain sacrifice. 4 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with the ram, and 2 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with each of the young rams. Also offer a goat as a sacrifice for sin. The animals must have nothing wrong with them, and are to be sacrificed along with the regular daily sacrifices.
Numbers 29.
On the first day of the 7th month, you must rest from your work and come together to celebrate at the sound of the trumpets. Bring to the altar 1 bull, 1 full-grown ram, and 7 rams a year old that have nothing wrong with them, and then offer these as sacrifices to please me. 6 pounds of your finest flour mixed with olive oil must be offered with the bull as a grain sacrifice. 4 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with the ram, and 2 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with each of the young rams. You must also offer a goat as a sacrifice for sin. These sacrifices will be made in addition to the regular daily sacrifices and the sacrifices for the first day of the month. The smoke from these sacrifices will please me. The 10th day of the 7th month is the great day of forgiveness. On that day, you must rest from all work and come together for worship. Show sorrow for your sins by going without food, and bring to the altar 1 young bull, 1 full-grown ram, and 7 rams a year old that have nothing wrong with them. Then offer these as sacrifices to please me. 6 pounds of your finest flour mixed with olive oil must be offered with the bull as a grain sacrifice. 4 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with the ram, and 2 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with each of the young rams. A goat must also be sacrificed for the sins of the people. You will offer these sacrifices in addition to the sacrifice to ask forgiveness and the regular daily sacrifices. Beginning on the 15th day of the 7th month, and continuing for 7 days, everyone must celebrate the Festival of Shelters in honor of me. On the first day, you must rest from your work and come together for worship. Bring to the altar 13 bulls, 2 full-grown rams, and 14 rams a year old that have nothing wrong with them. Then offer these as sacrifices to please me. 6 pounds of your finest flour mixed with olive oil must be offered with each bull as a grain sacrifice. 4 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with each of the rams, and 2 pounds of flour mixed with oil must be offered with each of the young rams. You must also offer a goat as a sacrifice for sin. These are to be offered in addition to the regular daily sacrifices. For the next 6 days of the festival, you will sacrifice 1 less bull than the day before, so that on the 7th day, 7 bulls will be sacrificed. The other sacrifices and offerings must remain the same for each of these days. On the 8th day, you must once again rest from your work and come together for worship. Bring to the altar 1 bull, 1 full-grown ram, and 7 rams a year old that have nothing wrong with them. Then offer these as sacrifices to please me.
you must also offer the proper grain sacrifices and drink offerings of wine with each animal. And offer a goat as a sacrifice to ask forgiveness for the people. These sacrifices are made in addition to the regular daily sacrifices. You must offer all these sacrifices to me at the appointed times of worship, together with any offerings that are voluntarily given or given because of a promise.
Moses told the people of Israel everything the Lord had told him about the sacrifices. Numbers 30. The Lord told Moses to say to Israel's tribal leaders,
When one of you men makes a promise to the Lord, you must keep your word. Suppose a young woman who is still living with her parents makes a promise to the Lord. If her father hears about it and says nothing, she must keep her promise. But if he hears about it and objects, then she no longer has to keep her promise. The Lord will forgive her, because her father did not agree with the promise. Suppose a woman makes a promise to the Lord and then gets married. If her husband later hears about the promise, but says nothing, she must do what she said, whether she meant it or not. But if her husband hears about the promise and objects, she no longer has to keep it, and the Lord will forgive her. Widows and divorced women must keep every promise they make to the Lord. Suppose a married woman makes a promise to the Lord. If her husband hears about the promise and says nothing, she must do what she said. But if he hears about the promise and does object, she no longer has to keep it. The Lord will forgive her, because her husband would not allow her to keep the promise. Her husband has the final say about any promises she makes to the Lord. If her husband hears about a promise and says nothing about it for a whole day, she must do what she said. Since he did not object, the promise must be kept. But if he waits until the next day to stop her from keeping her promise, he is the one who must be punished.
These are the laws that the Lord gave Moses about husbands and wives, and about young daughters who still live at home. Numbers 31. The Lord said to Moses,
Before you die, make sure that the Midianites are punished for what they did to Israel.
Then Moses told the people,
The Lord wants to punish the Midianites. So have our men prepare for battle. Each tribe will send 1,000 men to fight.
12,000 men were picked from the tribes of Israel, and after they were prepared for battle, Moses sent them off to war. Phinehas, son of Eleazar, went with them, and took along some things from the sacred tent, and the trumpets for sounding the battle signal. The Israelites fought against the Midianites just as the Lord had commanded Moses. They killed all the men, including Balaam, son of Beor, and the 5 Midianite kings, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba. The Israelites captured every woman and child, then led away the Midianites' cattle and sheep, and took everything else that belonged to them. They also burned down the Midianite towns and villages. Israel's soldiers gathered together everything they had taken from the Midianites, including the captives and the animals. Then they returned to their own camp in the hills of Moab, across the Jordan River from Jericho, where Moses, Eleazar, and the other Israelite leaders met the troops outside camp. Moses became angry with the army commanders and said,
I can't believe you let the women live. They are the ones who followed Balaam's advice and invited our people to worship the god Baal Peor. That's why the Lord punished us by killing so many of our people. You must put to death every boy and all the women who have ever had sex. But do not kill the young women who have never had sex. You may keep them for yourselves.
Then Moses said to the soldiers,
If you killed anyone or touched a dead body, you are unclean and have to stay outside the camp for 7 days. On the 3rd and 7th days, you must go through a ceremony to make yourselves and your captives clean. Then wash your clothes and anything made from animal skin, goat's hair, or wood.
Eleazar then explained,
If you need to purify something that won't burn, such as gold, silver, bronze, iron, tin, or lead, you must first place it in a hot fire. After you take it out, sprinkle it with the water that purifies. Everything else should only be sprinkled with the water. Do all of this just as the Lord commanded Moses. Wash your clothes on the seventh day, and after that you will be clean and may return to the camp.
The Lord told Moses,
Make a list of everything taken from the Midianites, including the captives and the animals. Then divide them between the soldiers and the rest of the people. Eleazar the priest and the family leaders will help you. From the half that belongs to the soldiers, set aside for the Lord 1 out of every 500 people or animals, and give these to Eleazar. From the half that belongs to the people, set aside 1 out of every 50, and give these to the Levites in charge of the sacred tent.
Moses and Eleazar followed the Lord's instructions and listed everything that had been taken from the Midianites. The list included 675,000 sheep and goats, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 young women who had never had sex. Each half included 337,500 sheep and goats, 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 young women. From the half that belonged to the soldiers, Moses counted out 675 sheep and goats, 72 cattle, 61 donkeys, and 32 women, and gave them to Eleazar to be dedicated to the Lord. Then, from the half that belonged to the people, Moses set aside 1 out of every 50 animals and women, as the Lord had said, and gave them to the Levites. The army commanders went to Moses and said,
Sir, we have counted our troops and not one soldier is missing. So we want to give the Lord all the gold jewelry we took from the Midianites. It's our gift to him for watching over us and our troops.
Moses and Eleazar accepted the jewelry from the commanders, and its total weight was over 400 pounds. This did not include the things that the soldiers had kept for themselves. So Moses and Eleazar placed the gold in the Lord's sacred tent to remind Israel of what had happened. Numbers 32. The tribes of Reuben and Gad owned a lot of cattle and sheep, and they saw that the regions of Jazer and Gilead had good pasture land. So they went to Moses, Eleazar, and the other leaders of Israel and said,
The Lord has helped us capture the land around the towns of Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Sebam, Nebo, and Beon. That's good pasture land. And since we own cattle and sheep, would you let us stay here east of the Jordan River and have this land as our own?
Moses answered,
You mean you'd stay here while the rest of the Israelites go into battle? If you did that, it would discourage the others from crossing over into the land the Lord promised them. This is exactly what happened when I sent your ancestors from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land. They went as far as Eshcol Valley, then returned and told the people that we should not enter it. The Lord became very angry, and he said that no one who was 20 years or older when they left Egypt would enter the land he had promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not one of those people believed in the Lord's power, except Caleb and Joshua. They remained faithful to the Lord, but he was so angry with the others that he forced them to wander around in the desert 40 years. By that time, everyone who had sinned against him had died. Now you people of Reuben and Gad are doing the same thing and making the Lord even angrier. If you reject the Lord, he will once again abandon his people and leave them here in the desert, and you will be to blame.
The men from Reuben and Gad replied,
Let us build places to keep our sheep and goats, and towns for our wives and children where they can stay and be safe. Then we'll prepare to fight and lead the other tribes into battle. We will stay with them until they have settled in their own tribal lands. The land on this side of the Jordan River will be ours, so we won't expect to receive any on the other side.
Moses said,
You promised that you would be ready to fight for the Lord. You also agreed to cross the Jordan and stay with the rest of the Israelites until the Lord forces our enemies out of the land. If you do these things,
Then after the Lord helps Israel capture the land, you can return to your own land. You will no longer have to stay with the others. But if you don't keep your promise, you will sin against the Lord and be punished. Go ahead and build towns for your wives and children, and places for your sheep and goats. Just be sure to do what you have promised.
The men from Reuben and Gad answered,
Sir, we will do just what you have said. Our wives and children and sheep and cattle will stay here in the towns in Gilead. But those of us who are prepared for battle will cross the Jordan and fight for the Lord.
Then Moses said to Eleazar, Joshua, and the family leaders,
Make sure that the tribes of Gad and Reuben prepare for battle and cross the Jordan River with you. If they do, then after the land is in your control, give them the region of Gilead as their tribal land. But if they break their promise, they will receive land on the other side of the Jordan, like the rest of the tribes.
The tribes of Gad and Reuben replied,
We are your servants and will do whatever the Lord has commanded. We will cross the Jordan River ready to fight for the Lord in Canaan. But the land we will inherit as our own will be on this side of the river.
So Moses gave the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and half of Manasseh the territory and towns that King Sihon the Amorite had ruled, as well as the territory and towns that King Og of Bashan had ruled. The tribe of Gad rebuilt the towns of Dibon, Adaroth, Aroer, Atroth-Shophan, Jazer, Jogbehah, Beth-Nimrah, and Beth-Haran. They built walls around them and also built places to keep their sheep and goats. The tribe of Reuben rebuilt Heshbon, Elealeh, Kiriathaim, Sibmah, as well as the towns that used to be known as Nebo and Baal-Meon. They renamed all those places. The clan of Machir from the tribe of East Manasseh went to the region of Gilead, captured its towns, and forced out the Amorites. So Moses gave the Machirites the region of Gilead, and they settled there. Jair from the Manasseh tribe captured villages and renamed them villages of Jair. Nobah captured the town of Kenath with its villages and renamed it Nobah. Numbers 33. As Israel traveled from Egypt under the command of Moses and Aaron, Moses kept a list of the places they camped, just as the Lord had instructed. Here is the record of their journey. Israel left the Egyptian city of Ramesses on the 15th day of the first month. This was the day after the Lord had punished Egypt's gods by killing the firstborn sons in every Egyptian family. So while the Egyptians were burying the bodies, they watched the Israelites proudly leave their country. After the Israelites left Ramesses, they camped at Succoth, and from there they moved their camp to Etham on the edge of the desert. Then they turned back toward Pi-hahiroth, east of Baal-zephon, and camped near Migdal. They left Pi-hahiroth, crossed the Red Sea, then walked 3 days into the Etham desert and camped at Marah. Next, they camped at Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They left Elim and camped near the Red Sea, then turned east and camped along the western edge of the Sinai desert. From there, they went to Dophkah, Alush, and Rephidim, where they had no water. They left Rephidim and finally reached the Sinai desert. As Israel traveled from the Sinai desert to Kadesh in the Zin desert, they camped at Kibroth-Hattaavah, Hazeroth, Rithmah, Rimmon-Perez, Libnah, Rissa, Kehelatha, Mount Shefer, Harada, Makeloth, Tahath, Tira, Mithka, Hashmona, Moseroth, Beni-Jaakan, Hor-Haggidgad, Jotbatha, Abrona, Ezion-Geber, and finally Kadesh. When they left Kadesh, they came to Mount Hor on the border of Edom. That's where the Lord commanded Aaron the priest to go to the top of the mountain. Aaron died there on the first day of the 5th month, 40 years after the Israelites left Egypt. He was 123 years old at the time. It was then that the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the southern desert of Canaan, heard that Israel was headed that way. The Israelites left Mount Hor and headed toward Moab. Along the way, they camped at Zalmonah, Punon, Oboth, Aya Abarim in the territory of Moab, Dibon Gad, Almon Diblathaim, at a place near Mount Nebo in the Abarim Mountains, and finally in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho. Their camp stretched from Beth Jeshemoth to Acacia. While Israel was camped in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho, the Lord told Moses to give the people of Israel this message.
When you cross the Jordan River and enter Canaan, you must force out the people living there. Destroy their idols and tear down their altars. Then settle in the land. I have given it to you as your own. I will show you how to divide the land among the tribes according to the number of clans in each one, so that the larger tribes will have more land than the smaller ones. If you don't force out all the people there, they will be like pointed sticks in your eyes and thorns in your back. They will always be trouble for you, and I will treat you as cruelly as I planned on treating them.
Numbers 34. The Lord told Moses to tell the people of Israel that their land in Canaan would have the following borders.
The southern border will be the Zin Desert and the northwest part of Edom. This border will begin at the south end of the Dead Sea. It will go west from there, but will turn southward to include Scorpion Pass, the village of Zin, and the town of Kadesh Barnea. From there, the border will continue to Hazar Adar and on to Asmon. It will run along the Egyptian Gorge and end at the Mediterranean Sea. The western border will be the Mediterranean Sea. The northern border will begin at the Mediterranean, then continue eastward to Mount Hor. After that, it will run to Lebo Hamath and across to Zedad, which is the northern edge of your land. From Zedad, the border will continue east to Ziphron and end at Hazar Enan. The eastern border will begin at Hazar Enan in the north, then run south to Shephem, and on down to Riblah on the east side of Ain. From there, it will go south to the eastern hills of Lake Galilee, then follow the Jordan River down to the north end of the Dead Sea. The land within these four borders will belong to you.
Then Moses told the people,
You will receive the land inside these borders. It will be yours, but the Lord has commanded you to divide it among the 9.5 tribes. The tribes of Reuben, Gad, and East Manasseh have already been given their land across from Jericho, east of the Jordan River.
The Lord said to Moses,
Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun will divide the land for the Israelites. One leader from each tribe will help them, and here is the list of their names.
Caleb son of Jephunneh from Judah, Shemuel son of Ammihud from Simeon, Elidad son of Chislon from Benjamin, Buckai son of Joglai from Dan, Hanael son of Ephod from Manasseh, Kemuel son of Shiftan from Ephraim, Elizaphan son of Parnak from Zebulun, Paltiel son of Azan from Issachar, Ahiud son of Shalomai from Asher, and Pedahel son of Ammihud from Naphtali.
These are the men the Lord commanded to help Eleazar and Joshua divide the land for the Israelites. Numbers 35. While the people of Israel were still camped in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho, the Lord told Moses to say to them,
When you receive your tribal lands, you must give towns and pastures to the Levi tribe. That way the Levites will have towns to live in and pastures for their animals. The pasture around each of these towns must be in the shape of a square, with the town itself in the center. The pasture is to measure 3,000 feet on each side, with 1,500 feet of land outside each of the town walls. This will be the Levites' pasture land. 6 of the towns you give them will be safe towns, where a person who has accidentally killed someone can run for protection. But you will also give the Levites 42 other towns, so they will have a total of 48 towns with their surrounding pastures. Since the towns for the Levites must come from Israel's own tribal lands, The larger tribes will give more towns than the smaller ones.
The Lord then told Moses to tell the people of Israel,
After you have crossed the Jordan River and are settled in Canaan, choose safe towns where a person who has accidentally killed someone can run for protection. If the victim's relatives think it was murder, they might try to take revenge. Anyone accused of murder can run to one of these safe towns for protection and not be killed before a trial is held. There are to be 6 of these safe towns, 3 on each side of the Jordan River. They will be places of protection for anyone who lives in Israel and accidentally kills someone. Suppose you hit someone with a piece of iron or a large stone or a dangerous wooden tool. If that person dies, then you are a murderer and must be put to death by one of the victim's relatives. He will take revenge for his relative's death as soon as he finds you. Or suppose you get angry and kill someone by pushing or hitting or by throwing something. You are a murderer and must be put to death by one of the victim's relatives. But if you are not angry and accidentally kill someone in any of these ways, the townspeople must hold a trial and decide if you are guilty. If they decide that you are innocent, you will be protected from the victim's relative and sent to stay in one of the safe towns until the high priest dies. But if you ever leave the safe town and are killed by the victim's relative, he cannot be punished for killing you. You must stay inside the town until the high priest dies. Only then can you go back home. The community of Israel must always obey these laws. Death is the penalty for murder, but no one accused of murder can be put to death unless there are at least 2 witnesses to the crime. You cannot give someone money to escape the death penalty. You must pay with your own life. And if you have been proven innocent of murder and are living in a safe town, you cannot pay to go back home. You must stay there until the high priest dies.
I, the Lord, live among you people of Israel, so your land must be kept pure. But when a murder takes place, blood pollutes the land and it becomes unclean. If that happens, the murderer must be put to death, so the land will be clean again. Keep murder out of Israel.
Numbers 36. One day, the family leaders from the Gilead clan of the Manasseh tribe went to Moses and the other family leaders of Israel and said,
Sir, the Lord has said that he will show what land each tribe will receive as their own. And the Lord has commanded you to give the daughters of our relatives, the Lophahad, the land that he would have received. But if they marry men from other tribes of Israel, the land they receive will become part of that tribe's inheritance and will no longer belong to us. Even when land is returned to its original owner in the year of celebrations, we will not get back Zelophehad's land. It'll belong to the tribe into which his daughters married.
So Moses told the people that the Lord had said,
These men from the Manasseh tribe are right. I will allow Zelophehad's daughters to marry anyone, as long as those men belong to one of the clans of the Manasseh tribe. Tribal land must not be given to another tribe. It will remain the property of the tribe that received it. In the future, any daughter who inherits land must marry someone from her own tribe. Israel's tribal land is never to be passed from one tribe to another.
Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, obeyed the Lord and married their uncle's sons and remained part of the Manasseh tribe. So their land stayed in their father's clan. These are the laws that the Lord gave to Moses and the Israelites while they were camped in the lowlands of Moab across the Jordan River from Jericho.
Oh. We gotta do it, chat. We gotta do it, brother. Amen. Amen. 2 hours. I'm gonna holler at y'all in a few, man. I see y'all later, man. Y'all have a blessed day. You know what I mean? Stay blessed, man. Show the love of God, man. You know what I mean? Try to be as much like God as y'all can today. I'm gonna see y'all later. Love.